What's going on, everyone? Pluke Jones coming at you with the video. Today I wanted to talk about Compoform versus Modusworks. So I wanted to take some time to kind of go over some of the sliders that I have, Modusworks sliders versus Compoform sliders, a little bit about both of them. From my perspective, I don't claim to know a lot about the machining process. I don't claim to know everything that goes on behind the scenes over at Modusworks, or with Compoform for that matter, but I'm a little bit more familiar with the process at Compoform, obviously because I manage the group for Ivan Gostev, who is the maker behind Compoform. So I'm going to talk about in no format or setup. So forgive me if I miss a few things, if I don't cover some things that you felt were very important. Maybe you could leave those in the comments. But again, I just wanted to kind of go over the differences for some people that ask me questions on which one I like, which one I prefer between the two companies, and a little bit in between. Okay. And again, this is my perspective. I am no expert, nor do I claim to be an expert on the machining process or what goes on behind the scenes at these companies. So for Modusworks, you have Jonas Nix, who is the maker behind Modusworks. And he's been around for quite a while. I know he's made fantastic spinners back in the day. Anything he produces is pretty much spot on and beautiful, right? So I've been in this scene since 2016. I believe when the torque bar came out, even maybe a little bit before that, where there was NTO Designs, there was Last Room Standing, there was Modusworks, there was a few other companies, Spinetic Spinners, way back in the day when Heck Ferrula was around selling bearings, and it was just a wonderful time, and the scene really got big and grew, and since then a lot of people have come and gone. But I've been around for quite a while myself, and I know a lot of you OGs have been around for quite a long time as well. So Modusworks is based in the USA. Can't remember what state it's in, but I'm sure many of you know. Maybe you could put it in the comments. I don't know why I was thinking I don't know. I don't want to say maybe Kansas. I don't know. Anyways, maybe you know because I don't remember. And forgive me for that. I guess I should know. But Jonas Nix, his sliders, I believe, originated way back. It was several years ago, I think, that he came out with his first slider. Can't remember the name of it, but he had the spiral. He had made the Skelly, and then he made. He just went up from there. He went to the Groovy, I think. And again, I'm not an expert, so forgive me if I mess up. And then he went on to make the Super Stepped, I believe it's called, and then the SGS, which is the Super Groovy, I believe. Again, if I am wrong, forgive me. But Modusworks makes what he calls the Wrapped V2. And I believe it stands for Raptor. So he also, like I said, he made spinners. He was pretty big into the scene. Now, back in those days, I didn't like the spinners. I owned a few of them myself, and I ended up selling every single one of them. I had some very rare spinners back in the days and just got rid of them for pretty good prices. And I noticed now the prices have skyrocketed. But when Jonas started making his sliders, I ended up buying his sliders, and I didn't really like them. I didn't like the spiral. I thought it was big and clunky. Okay, so I'd use it, I'd sell it, I'd buy another one, I'd turn around and sell it, and then my friend Sam would give me a couple to try out, and Brass, he's like, this is better. I try the Skelly, didn't like them at all. Didn't like them, didn't understand how anyone could like them. And I was like, man, these are just so big and clunky. All right, fast forward to me receiving a V2 Wrapped, and the same thing happened. I start using it. I'm like, okay, it's all right, but it's not for me. All right. I was using Compoform at the same time, and I got my hands on the V2 slider. with the weak magnets. Absolutely loved it. And then I went to the V3, which I absolutely adored. And I thought to myself, how could anyone like the Wrapped over a Compoform? It's just impossible. I loved the V3, and I thought it was the biggest thing since sliced bread. And man, it was just amazing to me, the V3. All right, so I got my V2 wraps. I turned around, sold it. I'm like, ugh, I just don't like it. It's just big and clunky, and it just doesn't make the right crispy snaps. And I'm like, what the heck is this? So I sold every single one that I had. I literally had probably 4 spirals. I had 3 skellies. I had wrapped V2s, sold those. And then I'm like, I had them all pretty much, and I just got rid of them. The only thing I didn't have is the one that's called MWM, I think. It's like a smaller slider. It's like a lot smaller than this one. I think Modusworks made it. That's the only one that I didn't try. But I sold every single wrapped V2 that I had. And then I'm like, one day I was playing with the V3, and I was playing with the wrap that I just had that I didn't get rid of. I think it was the titanium one that I had purchased, and then I got rid of that one. I'm like, it's okay, whatever. It's light. I prefer light. With me, light is the best for me. I love and prefer light sliders. So I saw Fallon Cohen was selling one, so I picked up another titanium. Thank you, Fallon, for that. I still have that one, by the way. And then out of the blue, I was playing with the Wrap V2. I can't remember which model it was. But upon playing with it, I start playing with it, and I start manipulating it, and I just used it for like a week straight every day. And I'm like, I don't understand why people love this so much. What the heck's going on? And then all of a sudden, no lie, I kid you not, like a light switch went off inside my brain or my body. And I'm like, man, this slider is absolutely amazing. I'm like, how can this be? Because months before that, I would say, my gosh, I don't like Modusworks. I don't think it's like that great of a slider. I mean, it's thick, it's big and clunky, I thought. And I'm like, it doesn't make the same crispy snaps that a Compoform makes. And then, like I said, all of a sudden, it just hit me, and I was in love. Okay. So from that day on, I went on a search, on a shopping spree, spent way too much money, met some really cool people, some friends who allowed me to acquire a Raptor 2. And you know who you are. And I appreciate that. And ever since, I'm like, I want to try every single model with Modusworks. So I went and I started buying wraps, and I bought a few here and there, sold a few that I didn't really like, sold a few that were pretty heavy, and I kind of wound up with my favorites. And I'll tell you, these are my favorites, and I wouldn't get rid of them for the world, okay? This one, my wife steals all the time, so it's hers. This one is mine. This one I just picked up. This one is one that I had purchased from a good friend of mine. And then I had the finish done in a shipwreck finish. And it's got the micarta, black micarta inlay, I believe, on this one. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it might be either micarta or G10. I'm not sure. Anyways, doesn't matter. I love it. It's got a decent weight to it, and we'll get into the weights, but I absolutely adore that one. This one might look familiar to most of you. Merry Christmas. This is the Christmas wrap that went up for sign-up sale, and I was able to acquire it from the guy who had owned it. Really nice person who was really nice in dealing with. And I am really happy with that one. I had actually lost this one for a while. I was at a party at my brother's house, and I thought somebody stole it, but the maid ended up finding it, putting it in the junk drawer of my brother's house, and just didn't even know about it until one day his girl was like, "What the hell is this? What is this thing?" And I'm like, "Son of a bitch, that's my slider." I couldn't believe it because I almost went as far as to accusing some people who were there because I swear I thought one guy took it, but you can't prove these things. So I'm really super glad I didn't say anything. This is the Ultim SGS. And again, this is my wife's. Beautiful snaps and pops. Absolutely love this thing. And she loves it even more than I do. All right, this is the Super Step Solid in PEI. This one is mine. Absolutely adore it. Okay, this is the Groovy. This is the SGI in brass. Pretty rare to have a brass slider with inlay like that. Titanium with G10. It's got the anodized finish by Jonas Nix. And then this one is the Timascus slider. Okay, this is the only one that I kept out of the ones that I had. And this is probably my favorite slider out of all of them. It's just absolutely insane. The coloring, the pattern, it's just out of this world. My favorite wrapped right here. Okay. This is the Compoform V3 version 3 first iteration. Compoform V3 second iteration. And the difference is the plates. Okay. But I'm not going to get into that because I want to talk a little bit. Actually, I might. This is the version 4 in Zircuitai. Beautiful slider right here. And this is just wrapped plates with a 3D printed body, which is pretty cool. Functions really well, so you kind of got a extra wrap right here, extra little piece. All right, so this is basically what I want to talk about and compare in a Compoform versus Modusworks video. So I'm going to try to make this not too long of a video, but again, if you think it's too long, just don't watch. I absolutely adore the version 2 now, the V2 wrapped. It is absolutely phenomenal in the way it feels. And what I love about the wrapped is the way that it feels when it ladders, okay? When it ladders, it just feels so good. All right. So for the aesthetic, I absolutely love how Jonas did it. And the way it falls, the way you put your finger on the edge and you just tip it and it just falls. The precision you feel when it just falls like that is absolutely amazing. Okay. You know, people have the wrapped light. Man, I tried the wrapped light. Guys, you guys say it's good. I understand. Okay. It is a good slider for the price point. But man, I'm telling you, if you get a V2 wrapped, you will notice the difference big time. And I don't think you will use the wrap light anymore. That's just my opinion. But there is a girl, I think her name's Christina. Bless her soul, she's a very sweet person. I think she actually likes the wrap light better than the version 2. So the offer is there. If you ever have a version 2 you want to get rid of, just let me know and I will take it off your hands. And I will replace it even with custom wrapped light for you. So, but anyways, so the aesthetics on it, absolutely amazing. I love the plates. They are convex, or yeah, they're concave actually. And I like that a lot. And they have this, I don't know if you can hear that. It's like a worry coin feel. And the edges are raised a little bit off the plate. I don't know what they call it, but when you slide it, you swipe it, it makes that that noise like it's precision, almost like a swipe or sweep. It is absolutely phenomenal. And another thing that people really love about these sliders is that they are modular, so you can take the screws out and replace the magnets. I prefer weak setup in both sides on a very light wrapped. I don't like heavy wraps. I've pretty much gotten rid of every single heavy wrap that I had. I do have a heavy wrapped that I do enjoy, But for the majority, I actually sold pretty much all of my heavy wraps. So this one in brass, 58 grams. So that's as heavy, really, as I like them to be. That's like my heaviest one, and that's even cutting it close, because I like really light sliders. But again, modular, you can put different magnets. I prefer the weak, or not weak, I think he calls them medium, which I call weak because they are the weakest, but they are medium magnets. That's what Jonas calls them. I've tried different configurations, and I like the plastic inserts. Anything else is just too heavy for me, and I don't like the way it feels. But I love these, and I wanted to get the trifecta going on the Ultim. And again, I just picked this one up recently. I have a feeling my wife's going to want to steal this one from me too, which is okay. She's my wife. She can get away with that. Now, I also feel like with Modusworks, the plates are stainless steel, and I don't know if I really like that as much as I like the other finishes or titanium. I just feel like titanium adds a little bit more value to the slider, but maybe not. Now, there's a huge following for these wraps, and what happened was the price just went sky high. I've bought all my wraps at sky high prices. Some I did get for good deals from friends of mine, and I appreciate that. Some I made trades for, but I don't know if I really like the stainless steel. I wish it could be like Zurich or maybe some sort of exotic type plates, or at least titanium. Maybe just see what they would do. I don't know. The stainless steel plates always turn me off, but it's not to say that he did a beautiful job in what he did with the stainless steel, and they last forever. So the Wrap V2 is built like a tank as well, okay? It's beautiful, it's ergonomic, it is a fabulous, fabulous slider, and I absolutely adore it, and I think it's so well made that if people don't have one, you guys are missing out, man. I mean, this is really the bee's knees right here. Beautiful slider, very ergonomic. Love how it feels. Just got into these recently, and man, wraps are just amazing. I really enjoy them. I love them. They're beautiful. They work every time. You got your 3-click down, consistent every single time. You can even hold the slider upside down, and it will stay together, which I absolutely love. Consistency every single time. All right, let's do a noise test where we can hear the actual pops. 91, 94, 92. Okay, let's try the V3. Looking at 95, 97.9, 96, 96.6. So much louder than the Wrapped at 93 decibels. So you're looking at about 7-8 decibels louder on the V3, a lot more crispy, okay? Version 4, 96, 96.2, okay? So close, but the Compoforms are much louder. They're more crisp, okay? So that's what they sound like in the decibels. So now let's talk about the V3. All right. So just step back. So Jonas actually produces these, and then this is like an inlay that goes on top of the titanium. I don't know how he puts them in. Is it whether it's epoxy, presses them in somehow? I don't know. But they're pretty, very basic, right? Compoform's finish is like nothing else I've ever seen in the world. It's just fascinating. I don't know how Ivan does this, but his titanium is absolutely gorgeous. So Modusworks to me is built like a tank. Solid slider. You can't break it. You get some stuff in the plates, I swear you can use that thing and you won't damage the plates. Even if they get scratched, the more you use them, the better they are. With the Compoform V3, you have a much louder pop. And they're just more crisp, okay? They're more crisp. You can actually feel the metal in your hand, which is so unique. The pops, they're so crisp and loud and precise. I can't even tell you how beautiful the V3 clicks feel. Okay. Also, the V4 feels the same way, beautiful. But there's one little thing that I don't really care for about the V4, and I'll tell you about that after. But V3, very crisp, very loud. And Ivan Gostev, okay, he produces these seams. I'm trying to get this to focus. He produces the sliders with welded seams. I can't get this to focus, guys. I'm so sorry. There you go. He welds it by microscope, and then he finishes everything by hand, sands it all down. And this finish is a scratch-resistant finish that is proprietary to Compoform only. And Ivan Gostev has perfected this from the knife community. His friends taught him that. His anodizing and his laser etching in blackened titanium is just absolutely impeccable. I consider the V3 to be more of a, how do I say it? It's more like the Gucci of fidgets, right? It's the Gucci of fidgets. It's the Ferrari, the European styling, okay? The custom anodization, the pattern, the hologram features in it. It is just so beautiful in what it is. I mean, look at that anodizing. Look at the finish on these. I mean, you feel it. It's raised, it's etched, it's lasered. It's so well done for what it is. The plates are just gorgeous. They swish and they slide with extreme precision. That is what I love about Compoform. For what it is, non-modular, it's absolutely perfect for what it is in the package it comes with. So Compoform, best finishes hands down, beats Modusworks every time in the finishes and in the design patterns. Plus, Ivan Gostev does so many different fidgets and different designs. I mean, look at this. This is the Tesseract. Nobody makes fidgets like this. So as far as different kinds of fidgets and finishes, Ivan Gostev wins, I think, hands down. But I think that Jonas Nix wins with the ergonomics, the modularity, and how people can make this tailored to their own liking. Okay? The precision on this, absolutely phenomenal. I find myself reaching more now for the wrapped V2. Built like a tank. Still very good looking, but nothing compared to the aesthetics that Compoform has. So, this is, to me, this is like the construction worker type fidget. I don't want to say blue collar, right? Because that's not what it is. It is gorgeous. It is construction workers type fidget. The good looking guy who's a construction worker that gets all the girls. Funny analogy, but that's the way I think of it, right? Where this guy is the rich kid and the Gucci, right? He wears Prada, he wears Gucci, all the, fancy name brands. But he's still a good-looking guy, and he can hold his own. You know what I mean? So I think that's how I would describe Compoform, the Ferrari of fidgets. Modusworks is the tank built, made in the USA, built to last. Phenomenal slider. Which is better? To each his own. Okay, I don't want to say who is better, right? But which do I prefer more? The honest to God's truth, right now, I prefer the Wrap V2. I go for it a little bit more. I've dropped it. I haven't had any issues with it functioning. I don't have to worry about the plates. Compoform, I don't worry either. I use the hell out of these, and the plates are perfect. But You do have to be careful because titanium on titanium is probably not going to be as resistant as the stainless steel. But like I said, the styling and the beauty and the softness in the hand of a Compoform, you know. When you get a Compoform in your hand, you know how soft and velvety it is. I say soft and velvety a lot because that's what it feels like. I mean, nobody produces fidgets like Compoform. They're absolutely gorgeous. But I really digging the wrapped V2. The old Groovy, I really enjoy as well. It's pretty damn cool. And the snaps and pops are really loud. Let's check this one. 93, 95, 94.7. Okay, so, almost as loud as the Compoform, but really close. But the crispness, they just feel so different. And you guys that own both of these understand what I'm talking about. So now, just real quick on V4, I love it. Fabulous. Absolutely amazing, right? The only thing I don't like is when I hold it like this, it falls. See, it's not as, I think it's a little bit weighted heavy. This one's 80 grams. So I think the magnet strength should be a little bit stronger on the ones that are heavier weights. But I think he did a hybrid on this. So probably should have gone with not a hybrid, but a lot of people like that feeling. It's just a little bit lighter. Feels really good. I just think maybe you should have gone with um, a non-hybrid setup on the V4, but it's still absolutely fabulous. You guys all love the V4, and it's a great slider. But yeah, some of the products from Compoform are just absolutely gorgeous. The ideas, oh my gosh, the ideas Ivan comes up with is absolutely amazing. You have so many different fidgets, different looks, different feels. Look at these finishes. Nobody does it like Ivan. Nobody. And the sliders are pretty inexpensive. I mean, $350 to $400. I think the first iteration of the V3 went for $300. This guy was, I think, $350. Tesseract was $400. So very, very good prices, in my opinion, for what you get. I mean, the finishing is all by hand. It's lasered by microscope. Really, really good pricing, in my opinion, for what you get. Quality, right? Premium. I mean, it's the Ferrari of fidgets, Compoform. Now, Wrap V2, sky-high pricing. Jonas did a great job at releasing these for very good prices, I think, very fair. But if you want something, you're going to have to pay for it, which I'm okay with. I'm not a believer that people should sell these at what they paid. If the market is there, then sell it for what someone will pay for it. I've always believed in that mentality. Be kind to your friends. Yeah, sell them something for a great price. I've done that several times. I've also sold stuff at a premium. It is what it is. If I don't want to get rid of it and someone really wants it, hey, if you're willing to pay for it, I'll give it to you. I paid for my wraps same way. I've spent thousands of dollars on my stuff, including Compoform that I want and that I want to go run out and get. I pay a premium, like this guy paid $350 for this, which is a good price actually because it's $400. But I love it. It's a great slider. So the pricing of the Wrap V2, you're going to pay out your butt, okay? Which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And if you don't like it, don't buy it. Don't complain in the group that it's too much or, people selling it at a premium. It is what it is. I don't think Jonas believes in, keeping prices at a set price. I don't know. I think Jonas believes that it's a free market, which is what I believe. Sell for what you will. If someone doesn't want it, don't buy it. If I turn around and get something in that's a beautiful pattern or that's very rare and I sell it for a little bit more, come on, guys, it's expected, right? It is what it is. If someone lists something for a price that they're asking and you don't want it, don't buy it. It's that simple. Now, I'm not trying to say go out there and rape people, but, it's a free market. If I sell this knife, if I bought it for what, $50, or actually, I think this one was given to me, but I've bought knives before, $50, $250. I've turned around and given them to my friends $50, or I've traded something, or here, just take it. But then again, I've sold stuff for a lot more just because, I felt like I paid a lot for it and it's what I want. So don't complain about that, guys. It is what it is. You want a good wrapped, you want a pretty wrapped, save your money and buy one. The value will always be there, in my opinion. And if it's not, and you bought real high and you're trying to sell it and prices come down, then guess what? You're screwed and that's it. You make the choice. You're an adult. All right. That's how I feel about Modusworks. Absolutely beautiful. I love how these feel. Something went off in my head and I just adore the Wrap V2. So much so that I think that the Wrap Lite is an inferior product, but it is beautiful. Now, inferior is not cutting it down. It just means that it's a little bit less desirable than the version 2. And I think so. And I think people have done a great job at getting their Wrap Lights to look presentable, at least to where I can stomach them. Jonas, you make fabulous, fabulous product. I think that right now it's obvious that you are number one in the industry, and I'm real happy for you on that, and wish you the best always. Compoform is absolutely a close second, if not right up there with Jonas and Modusworks. I think that because of the market and the way people have gone crazy for these, I think the price went really high based on the people that want them. But Compoform is very reasonable in price. The finishes are out of this world. So close second comes Compoform. And then also a major player that we need to talk about real quick is Magnus, the Magnus Group. And Magnus does make some really good sliders. They have a good group out there on Facebook. Modusworks also has a great group, so go out there and join. Magnus sliders are pretty good. The only thing I don't like about Magnus is as soon as I buy one, you buy one for retail, it hits your cart, you lose half of the value. Okay. Can't sell Magnus worth crap. Nobody wants to buy them. He mass produces them, in my opinion. He's got some verbiage out there on his website that I feel is not up to par. I won't get into what that is because I don't want to start any drama and I don't have time to get involved in any drama. But this is my favorite Magnus slider. I told you I like very light sliders. This is the Ultim in the Super X. I really like it. Jacob Yoon was kind enough to give me these Zerk plates, and I like them. The only thing I don't like about this one is when I flip it down, it always goes into that position when I ladder. Well, usually. I'm on camera, so it's a little bit harder. But it's not working. But usually when I do the ladder, it goes to that position. And I don't like that because I want to drop it. But anyways, I like this slider a lot. It's probably the best Magnus slider. I do want to try the sweep plates. I wish they made an Ultim with sweep plates. I want to buy the sweep plates and put them on this one. And it'll make that swoosh sound like the Wrap V2 makes. That swishiness is absolutely phenomenal. I got a little mark on that one on the plate, so hopefully it'll, if I get some new plates, I'll swap them out. But love this slider. It's a real good slider. I would probably sell it, but the problem is you have to discount it so low that it's not even worth selling. It's just worth keeping around and using when I'm bored or something, or when I go out, I don't have to worry about losing one of my good fidgets. I don't take my fidgets out on road trips or anything, but I will take them out of the house once in a while. I'm just afraid that I'll lose them, drop one, damage one, because I'm the type of guy that if I do drop it, I'm not one of those people to say, oh, it's got character. No way, man. I can't. All my stuff is pristine, and I have to have pristine. That's just the way I operate. But anyways, that is a overview of Compoform products. Modusworks Wrapped. I talked a little bit about the Groovy, some of the earlier models. And I would have to say that the winner is, for number one spot, I'd have to say the V2, if I'm being honest. Compoform, very, very close second. I am a diehard fan of Compoform, not just because I manage the group and help Ivan. I've always loved the V3, the V2, the V4. They are just absolutely phenomenal. So do I prefer the wrapped? I do, but again, ever so slightly over the Compoform. I think that the V3 is a perfect size. It's so crisp and loud. The V4 is an amazing slider, and there are days that I prefer it and pick it up much more than the V2 wrapped. But if I had to say, again, overall in all the categories, and because this will last me a lot longer, probably, than a V3, I would have to say Modusworks takes it by just a little bit, a percentage point, let's say. All right, I hope this video was helpful. Let's get some weights here real quick, and then I will let you guys go. Let's see, how can I do this? Let me move this here. I think we already weighed this. 58 grams, 50 grams, 62 grams. So that one is heavier. The Timascus is heavier than the brass. Well, let's try that again. 58 grams. Groovy Ultim, 34 grams. Ultim SSS, 34 grams. Love it. This one, I don't remember how much that one weighs, but yeah, 35 grams. My wife stole that one from me. This one here, the SGS. Yes, SGS. So SGS is super groovy solid, super step solid. And this one is the groovy. SGI, Compoform V3, Compoform V4, Compoform V3 second iteration, SBS or side by slide, SB3, side by 3 buttons, side by 3. Okay, I don't know. SB3 sounded good. That's what we went with. Okay, SB3. This one's on pre-order right now. You can still pick it up. Tesseract. Amazing. V1.1 OG. Very close to flipping open in a Zippo. Back and forth. Love that product. Let's see what else. Let's try the V1.1. 65 grams. SBS with my bead. 78 grams. SB3. 67 grams. All right. I hope that gives you a little bit of information on the two products, which one I prefer a little bit more than the other. Awesome sliders, great companies. And if you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is my perspective. If you disagree with some of the things I said, this is just how I feel. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy using fidgets, and I'm letting you know what I like and giving you a little bit of feedback on both. Love both companies, great people. European styling versus elegant USA styling. And you can feel the difference in the quality of a Compoform versus, in the elegance of a Compoform versus the elegance of a Modusworks, but they are beautiful sliders. And I hope that does it. And thank you guys for watching.